Well, from local movies, we move on to something more international. And of course, Malaysia, although we're not as advanced as US when it comes to visual effects. And some of you are like, what is visual effects? Well, if you watch movies like Life of Pi, Chronicles of Narnia, The Golden Compass, Babe, some of these are the movies that won an award, well, Oscars. And we have the man behind it all. It's a great honor to have him on our show here at Bella. He's all the way here right now, sitting right next to me. John Hughes, founder of John Hughes Institute, also president of Tile Film, which was also recent Rhythm Hues as well. Right. Thank you so much. It's such an honor to have you here on Bella.
Oh, it's wonderful to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Because I'm a fan of Life of Pi and a lot of the other movies that were listed here. And you're one of the persons who pioneered the, as they call it in short, VFX, which is visual effects. For our ladies out there, not just ladies, some people out there, visual effects. What is it actually, and how important is it in a movie? Because now it can break or make a movie. Am I right?
Yes. Well, visual effects are what we do after they've shot the actors and actresses. And so, for instance, in Life of Pi, the main character is really a tiger, and so you can't have a tiger interacting with a boy because he would attack the boy and eat him. So the tiger was completely visual effects. We did it in the computer. Wow. And also all of the water and the skies and the clouds, and then there was the island where the
like what we're seeing right now, like some of the...
Yes, absolutely. You know, so Life of Pi was special because so much of it was digital. But oftentimes in a movie, if there are big characters that don't really exist, those are going to be visual effects.
So that's really interesting because, like, say, out of the whole movie Life of Pi, and we're seeing some of the effects right now, all visual effects, all the characters, besides the boy who plays the character, the rest are all just done by visual effects.
That's
graphics.
Correct.
And they're so real.
They're done in the computer and they look completely real. There are actually about 10 to 15 shots that use a real tiger, and you can kind of tell which shots there are because the boy isn't there.
Exactly.
Because you can't have the boy and the tiger together in a shot.
But when we are watching the movie, we're so immersed into it. But that's the fantastic part. Visual effects is something that you don't see it, which means you've done a good job because we think it's real. Am I right to say that?
That's exactly right. You know, we call them invisible effects. And oftentimes, in order to save money, they'll have an actor and they'll only have a little bit of a set, a very small set around the actor, and then we have to build all the rest of the set.
Fantastic.
And we call that set extension, but it needs to be invisible so that you really feel that it was in this exotic location. Exactly.
Well, you were recently, obviously, you're here for been a week, and you were here for Creative 2014 conference as a main speaker as well. So Malaysians are lucky to have you here. How was that? So you were here for that. What did you actually do? Because we've got a lot of Malaysian talents, would you say, coming into this visual effects?
Absolutely. I was the founder of a company called Rhythm Hues, which was responsible for the effects for Life of Pi, and Babe, and Golden Compass, and all Academy Award winners. And so we set up a facility here in Malaysia, in Cyberjaya.
Wow.
And we had about 135 people here, and we would hire people right out of college, and then we would train them from 3 months to 9 months, and they were just as good as anybody in Hollywood, you know, with a little bit of training.
So you see the potential here in Malaysia.
Absolutely.
How about the passion? Because I think visual effects takes, and of all this graphic, like, don't you think there has to be passion involved with it as well? Because it's long hours, wouldn't you say?
Yes, it has to be passion. We need several things. They have to have artistic talent.
As well.
They have to be very technical because we're doing everything in the computer.
Not easy.
And also very important is the moral and ethical foundation they have because they have to work hard and they have to work very collaboratively with the team. So
wow. What would you say would be your biggest advice to donning visual artist effects out there who are watching right now, or parents watching right now, and they would say, like, you know, maybe my son has talent in this and this, and maybe they could screwed him into this direction. What would your advice be? What are the sort of characteristic that person must have?
Well, I guess they really have to have perseverance, and they have to be willing to learn on their own and work on their own. For instance, when we hire people, they give us a sample reel. So we're looking at the work that they did. That's how we judge them. We don't judge by their CV or what university they went to. We judge by the work. We look at their work and see if it's high enough quality.
Wow. So it's not just paper qualification anymore, especially when it comes to this. And like we mentioned earlier, it's either you break or make a movie at the end of the day. which would you say was one of the most challenging movies as to date? I mean, there's so many different movies that require different visual effects, but which one to you was one of the most challenging movie you would say to date for you guys?
Well, Life of Pi certainly was very, very difficult because the tiger has to look absolutely real so that you believe this is a real tiger.
There's a character in the tiger as well.
Right, but you know, when we did Chronicles of Narnia, we were nominated for an Academy Award. That tiger actually has some human characteristics. We call it anthropomorphic. Whereas with the tiger in Life of Pi, we wanted it to be completely natural, a real tiger. And then we had to replace all the water and the skies. And so most of that movie, probably 80% of that movie, is done in the computer.
Crazy. So and how long would you say the process takes from after they film? Because obviously you have the actor, which is the boy, as we can see right now. And like now that like I said, when I watch it, I don't think that, oh my God, everything's visual effects, because it's so real. It means you guys did a fantastic job. How long was the process?
The whole process was about 3 years. But after the filming, we had about 1 year to finish everything.
Are you serious? And you guys had to work around the clock?
We did, but we did a lot of the work in Malaysia also. As
well?
Yeah, we have facilities in India and Malaysia. So yeah, we did a lot of the work in Malaysia. You know, the talent here is very, very good.
And so it's nice to know that you mentioned earlier that obviously because you have an institute here and the Malaysians can come, or maybe from around Asia to come and learn from you guys.
Yes,
and,
Yeah, we started an institute for training called John Hughes Institute. And the reason we did that was because when we had Rhythm Hues, all of our people in Asia, and we trained well over 1,000 people in Asia to work for Rhythm Hues, we trained them ourselves. So we know how to train for all aspects of filmmaking. So we still have our facility here, but we also have a sister company that will help train people.
Which is what we need. At the end of the day, because the expertise comes from obviously people with experience, because it's not just about sitting there and writing something down. You need to make something come to life at the end of the day. How would you say it's changed from maybe 10 years ago with visual effects, especially you've been in the industry for so many years? Is it exciting times with what's available to you in terms of technology that we have nowadays?
Well, yes, the technology has advanced dramatically, so we can do things that we could never have done before. You know, when we were first doing fur for the Coca-Cola polar bears back in the 1990s, the technology was very primitive compared to what we do today to make it look photoreal.
Yeah, which is fantastic though, because you still have to like work really hard in those days to make it look as real. But now, like you said, you have the artistic eye, but at the same time you need to have the technical ability as well.
And you have to have the right moral and ethical foundation so that you're going to work hard and work well with other people.
That's the thing, teamwork here.
Yes.
It's not just me, or I.
Yeah, absolutely.
How about ladies in the visual effects industry? Do you have a lot of ladies who you see potential talent? Because I mean, at the end of the day, everyone obviously is based on their artistic talent. But when it comes to the ladies, do you see a lot of big talents here in Malaysia or even around the world or where you come from?
Of course, absolutely. You know, we weren't 50% women, but we were probably about 30% female.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Would you say is it more taxing on a woman sometimes? Because women, obviously, we have our, what can I say that, like our mood swings and stuff like that. Does it affect the job, would you say?
No, not at all.
Not at all?
In fact, the person that actually built the tiger, modeled the tiger, was a woman.
Seriously?
And the person that put the fur on it and made it really look like a tiger was also a woman.
Fantastic. So women are behind it as strong as men are in this industry. And well, Lil, just want to ask you a bit about, because you've been to Malaysia before, was it last year you were here for a month, and you say your children love everything.
Oh, yeah.
And you said batik. You like batik?
Well, my babies, they love doing the painting, yes.
Could you do any visual effects with batik? That would be
well,
interesting.
we could.
Well, it's so nice to have you here and, of course, to share your experience with everyone. And what do you think people took out from the creative conference that that you had recently?
Well, you know, what I took out from it was just the change. When we first came to Malaysia 7 years ago, you know, there was just a handful of companies here. And now there's actually, you know, what the economists would call an industry cluster here in the animation and visual effects industry. So the growth over the past 5 to 7 years has just been phenomenal.
The passion is just growing. This is the last one I would like to ask you, John. I see you have actually like a pen in the tip of your ear. Is that a reason why you have that there, or is it just when inspiration strikes? What is that for?
Oh, well, when I'm talking to people, often I take notes, and so I need to have my pen so I can take
love
notes.
It. Thank you so much, John. Any last words you'd like to share with maybe your fans out there?
Well, you know, you have to have passion. You have to work hard, and you have to have good training. You know, like I said, we formed the John Hughes Institute to do training, and we're in partnership with Hussin Visual Effects. So together, we're training people here in Malaysia, and you know, it's going to be a growing industry. I know they're shooting Marco Polo here in Malaysia right now. So. You know, the industry is growing here, yeah.
Thank you so much, John, for coming onto the show and sharing your passion with us. And of course, I'm sure you're going to just input more plants into our Malaysian people as well. Thank you so much for coming on to Bella.
My pleasure.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that little session I had with John. And of course, if you're a fan of Life of Pi or any of the other movies, you definitely be inspired by today's show. Well, we're going off to end our show right now.